Hi there, this is Tammy. I just briefly, wanted to go over pharmaceuticals and why essential oils are a good choice in many cases, as well as how they work alongside medications. As a former pharmacy tech and background in pharmacology, I have a great working respect for medications. It's just really important to understand, and I really want to explain that they came about through the study of plants, and in fact, they still do to this day. Um, our our ancestors were very good at taking notes and recording everything that they did. And we have plenty of information and evidence to indicate that they were using certain plants for certain reasons. And even though that our environment has changed and our technology has changed, these methodologies can still be applied today. And I like to say that I use old world practices with modern day health issues because we have to take it to a cellular level. Our genetic or our genome rather, was different than it is today. There have been significant changes within our genetics that we can't apply old world theories and expect the same results. So medications do have their place, but they absolutely go in and they study how these plants, they study the mechanism, they watch what these plants are actually doing on a cellular basis, and then they turn around and they replicate that in a lab, and they create these fabulous medications that are saving lives and making a big difference for so many people. However, that said, it is good reason to actually consider using essential oils, especially for the lesser serious cases. I'm going to put it that way. For such things as psoriasis or autism, depression, addiction. These are all things that I've worked with, and they help, especially when it comes to mental health and emotional health. So, I mean, they make a world of difference. They actually helped me with my own recovery. So there's a lot to be said for how these oils work and why they work. And for that matter, why we have medications. And as I said, they come from the study of plants. These aren't things that scientists sit around and dream up and scheme up. They are actually studying our environment and how our environment is affecting both animal and human. And then they go back and they replicate these things. And I get it. There's a good value to that. I want to go out and say this much about pharmaceuticals. For as much as we all want to say, hey, don't use pharmaceuticals, there's significant benefit to using your medications. And here's why. The environment changes, okay? The growing seasons change. It's absolutely impossible to get the same quality of oil from a crop year after year after year. Now, these farmers are doing everything they can to maintain a quality crop, but due to the changes in the soil, Lord knows our weather is changing constantly. We can't keep up with it. We can't predict it. Yesterday I sat outside because it was sunny and warm. Today I'm inside because it's rainy and cold. So, we can't predict our environment. So therefore, the consistency in plant matter varies. Yes, there's something to be said for hydroponics, but not everybody's growing that way. So medications actually provide a consistency. That is a very important component to restoring wellness. However, using oils aside, in addition to, I'd rather say it that way. Welcome to my world of reality. I get excited and my head starts racing faster than my mouth. I just can't seem to get it all out at the same time. At any rate, there is a consistency to the medications. And that said, there is a reason why medications end up stumbling and why we have this collective belief that medications are bad. Medications aren't bad. They do deplete the body of nutrients, and the reason for that is this. When we take in a plant and use an oil more specifically, we have the whole plant. Okay, so let's say you know, the way I recommend people do it is I make nutritional recommendations that I refer to as intentional eating. And then I back it up with oils, because the oils provide the instructions so that the cells actually pick up the proper nutrients. And then you eat very good foods and you take specific supplements, that these two things work hand in hand. The oils do not contain nutrients. But at that point, now you're getting all of the components, because in order for that medication to work, it requires these nutrients. Now, yes, you can overdose on supplements all you want, and it will work for a while. But the bottom line is that the body can only use so much at one time. And so therefore it goes in and it starts to rob Peter to pay Paul over here. And you ultimately end up having the very nutrients you need to heal are being depleted. That's the downside to medications. However, if you actually use essential oils in addition to your medication, and you eat a good diet and use the proper supplementation, now what you have is a really wonderful synergistic relationship that will actually feed the body and help the body to heal even more so. So if you are needing medication and you use the oils next to it, and then you eat properly, now you're actually giving the body everything that it needs. I just wanted to say that a little bit differently. That said, it's important to note that there are certain oils that you should not use with certain medications, as there's just major contraindications. German chamomile should never be used with medications that are metabolized on the CYP3A4 gene. That's a one that many people have issues with, and it also shouldn't be used in conjunction with any sort of anxiolytic or antidepressant. Those medications are all metabolized through that. They're inhibitors, and you end up having more anxiety. There's other, actually Zantac is another one that works on the same genetic enzyme that the German chamomile does, and so now you have adverse effects. So German chamomile is one that you have to look out for. Bergamot is another one. There is the photosensitivity, but bergamot also has, it actually has some blood thinning qualities to it. In fact, a lot of the oils have a lot of blood thinning qualities to it, so you really need to be mindful of what you're choosing. Anything that has eugenol in it is not advisable for anybody who's taking Xarelto, warfarin, any of these blood thinners. So it's really important to understand what oils you're choosing alongside the medications, because the last thing you want to do is you don't want to make any counterintuitive moves. You really want everything to be, like I said, synergistic and supplemental with one another. So that said, this is a little short snippet on why I think medications are necessary and how they can work alongside the oils, as alongside a good diet. And I don't necessarily mean, you got to go all paleo or all vegan. I'm not about anything. What diet's good for me, again, is not good for somebody else. There is such a thing to be said for bio-individuality. So understanding how your body feels when it consumes various things is a really important thing to pay attention to, and including, intentional supplementation, intentional nutrition alongside the oils in addition to your medications is really what's going to take you from ground zero and to really overcoming the issue that you're trying to overcome. So let me know what questions you have, if I've missed anything, and have a wonderful, blessed evening. Bye now.